Welcome everybody to AstrorisaMoon Forecaster. We're doing another reading today. It's Tuesday. This one is a centering reading. You know, we've been going through a lot this year, a lot of focus on politics, a lot of emotional roller coasters we've been going through. And it's good to just center ourselves and focus on what it is that we personally may need to address, as opposed to looking at all that's happening right now. I mean, it's good that we're learning about the different branches of government and how that plays itself out, and people are looking more to understand the Constitution. So every situation has a lesson in it, but we can become so distracted that we're not really focusing on what we need to move forward for the year. The year is still young, and we can create something very positive for ourselves if we go step by step and just work on ourselves. So, again, this is the centering reading for whoever needs it. Thank you all for reaching out to me and letting me know that you enjoyed the last reading that I did. A Gungun, which is ancestors, had me do a reading for anyone that identified with like photography, modeling, and was going through a situation with a particular person that wasn't being honest with them. I don't know why honesty keeps coming up this year. Well, yeah, actually, that's not true. If I look at it cosmically, it does make sense. We have all this Aquarius and Leo energy, Shango energy ruling. But that's a whole nother conversation with the show that we're going to do next week, talking about these transits. But yeah, that's real interesting about truth coming up. Let's look at this reading here. And this is for whoever needs it. We're centering ourselves, focusing on us and what we need. This is for a person who needs to hear it's not personal. Feed your spirit and walk it off. Okay, what's going on here? Definitely we're seeing a wounded heart. Someone got their feelings hurt. They're very upset. This conversation occurred that caused some turmoil. Definitely a conversation. Now, this conversation could be one where you were accused of something. Maybe you've accused somebody else of something and you were just really upset. But it's conversations, and truth and lies comes into this. Again, all this stuff about truth. This is where we are cosmically. So when spirit tells you it's not personal, that doesn't mean that you say, well, you just let it go. You say, well, I guess what you said, well, I don't supposed to take it personal. No. It hurt you. It wounded you, and it needs to be addressed. But let's look at this message of not taking it personal the same as when we hate someone, and like really hate intensely. When we hate, what we do is we create a cord, an invisible cord, a spiritual cord, which attaches us to that particular person. And we're never really free. And that person many times could care less. But we ourselves are always thinking about them, or thinking about what they did, thinking about how it made us feel. And that causes loss for us, because what tends to happen is we might make a decision that's detrimental. That decision might be about vindictiveness, and then we get ourselves in another situation that we didn't want to be in. It's just a downhill process. And this is about moving forward and moving uphill. So how do we address a heart, untruths? How do we capture peace? So spirit is saying, feed your spirit. But first you have to put light to the situation, meaning you have to sit down and you have to be really honest with yourself about the whole entire experience. Was there any part that you played in it, or was it just out of the blue and you just happened to have fallen into this experience? Sit down and write out how you feel. Write a letter to yourself, telling yourself exactly how you felt about what happened, how you feel about the person, how you can't stand them, or how they've hurt you, whatever the case may be. And then after you do that, and then you reevaluate the situation, take a step back and read it. Ask yourself honestly, did you play a part in it at all? And identify the part that you played. You might want to also bring in a good friend, someone that is going to be real honest with you, not a yes person, not someone who's just going to say what they think you want to hear. Because if you want to move forward, you want real honesty. You want to tell them what's going on, share your feelings, the experience, and then they can give you feedback, honest feedback on it, and you get a whole nother perspective about it. Even if they're just helping you figure out how you're going to address it, because definitely this needs to be addressed. Now, whether your next letter is writing a letter to that person and telling them exactly how you feel and what you think, and you're speaking your truth, because this is very much about a person that needs to speak their truth. You really have to sit down and speak it. Now, if you do choose to give them the letter, then you've come to that agreement. You sat on it for a minute, and it is what it is. Or you write the letter and you don't give it to them. Instead, you tear it up, you burn it, whatever it is that you want to do to start the process of discarding and breaking that attachment. Walking it off. So this is also another step towards healing from this hurt situation. And we have here nature. You know, there's so much healing in nature. Sometimes you need to just get in a body of water. You could soak, but I would say do more than that. Like maybe go for a swim. You know, go to the gym or something, and wherever there's a pool, and just swim. And that takes so much stress out of you. When you finish that swim, you come out of that element of water with so much more clarity. Maybe you want to go to the park and actually walk, you know, and not listen to any music, but just walk. And the old folks used to call it, you had to do a daily constitutional. And that was when you walked, and so many answers come to you when you're quiet and walking, not talking to anybody, not listening to music, but allowing nature to feed your spirit, to talk to your soul. And you finish that walk in silence, and all of a sudden you have such an epiphany of understanding of what you should do next or how you should handle things. And a lot of truth comes to a person when they walk. Trust me, I know, I've done it. Maybe you need to just sit under a tree for a minute and just watch nature, you know. See what messages come to you. Those that are into animal spirits, who really follow the totems, messages of animals. A squirrel might come to you, come your way, and you get a message. You know, a thought comes to your mind about taking stock, and surrounding yourself with people who can help you as opposed to hinder you. Whatever it is and however it is, it needs to be done. But this is a process that you can do. This is about conversations. This is about wounding conversations. This is about speaking your truth. This is about you not holding on to toxic emotions. And this is about freeing yourself. And this is telling you a way that you can start that process. So I hope that this little mini centering reading was helpful for you. Let's see. My new cards here. African American cards. This is E of Fire. So, champion for yourself. See how she's loving life and dancing and walking it away and not paying attention on purpose to what is behind her. So move forward. It's time for you to move forward. Obviously, this is telling me that you have been stuck in this process for far too long. And it is time for you to champion yourself. Get involved with yourself. Get more involved in your own life. Too much maybe conversation with people who are just gossipers. And you got caught up in that. Live your life. Break away from all that other stuff. Enjoy life. Move forward. And this is your time. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this centering reading. And we're going to do some more of these. We'll see you next time when the moon is full, which is this Leo moon for February 10th. If you did not get your forecast, make sure you get your forecast. Go to www.AstrorisaMoon.com so you know what's going on for the month and you can prepare yourself and make the changes that you need for the whole month, in addition to letting go of this situation around truth and lies. And we'll see you also next week when we have our next radio show. So remember, to know your truest self, follow the moon. Take care.